Hey guys, welcome to Star Sign Horoscopes. I am your astrologer, Jamie Magee, and today we are going to be taking a look at the astrology for June 3rd through the 9th. I do hope you guys are having a great week out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. It definitely means a lot to me. Okay, so let's talk about the week ahead. Now, we do not have a lot of transits this week, but I do feel like these are always the weeks that sort of sneak up on us or catch us a little bit off guard. It's kind of like that phase right after a big party or a big event or the end of the season. When you're in that cleanup stage, packing up, looking back so you can look ahead, it's where our emotions, our revelations, our ideas, our lessons all kind of collide in at once. And we find that we either have to take the information that we have now and go back and revise something, or take the information we have now and run forward. If not, do both of those things at the same time. So, depending on how your party went, this week could feel mild or tense or a little bit of both, depending on what day. All right, so let's talk about why. All right, so this week we have Mercury, who is going to move forward. He's going to station direct. Now, anytime Mercury goes backwards or forwards, to me, it always reminds me of a train shifting tracks. It's a little bumpy, it's a little chaotic, but once you start flowing, everything, unfolds the way it should. We just have to get through that bumpy little bit of communication or that little bit of a chaotic feeling as it moves directions. So kind of be on the lookout for that. And this week we also have Saturn, the time master, stationing retrograde, which is the opposite of what Mercury is going to do. So we have forward motion and now we have retrograde motion. Now, Saturn is going to ask you to pause and reflect and think back on actions that you've taken around a particular story that you began in February. He wants you to fortify these things. He wants you to make sure that they are timeless, that they're going to support you in the short term and the long term. Now, this story is something that you're going to work on until October. That's when you're going to be ready to relaunch it. So the urgency is not there, but what could feel frustrating is it's almost like a stall, like everything seems to stop around this story. But knowing that it's stalling so you can go back and revise it and benefit yourself in the long run should be helpful. So I want you to keep that in mind if anything feels like the brakes are hit and you can't go forward anymore. The question is, how can you go forward in the coming months? How can you make yourself stronger to do that? Now, this week, we also have the quarter moon. Now, the quarter moon is that space between the new moon, where we set intentions, and the full moon, where we start to see the blossoms and the blooms of the intentions that we set. Now, the quarter moon always reminds us of why we wanted to set those intentions and those goals, the goals that we set with the new moon. Now, sometimes this can come with tension, like, you know what? This is why I'm doing this. I can't handle it anymore. This needs to change so everyone feels more comfortable. Sometimes it can come with motivation or inspiration. Either way, the reminder is there for you to pick up those goals and run with them. You don't want them to deflate. You don't want them to disappear. You want to take action when you see the opportunity to work with them this week. All right, guys, with that being said, let's get ready to dive into the signs and talk about how you can work with this energy. Now, please remember to listen to both your sun sign and your rising sign to get a better overall view of how you can work with it. All right, guys, let's get started. Okay, Libra, let's take a look at your week. Now, Libra, your top three focuses this week are going to be: one, revising the structures and support systems that you have in place around things that you have a really deep passion for, and planning for ways that you can further support and protect this area of your life. So, big number one. Now, number two, moving forward with plans that you have around shared resources, loans, and transitions. Number three, reflecting or working behind the scenes to put into actions, intentions, or goals that you have around communication. All right, so let's talk about why these are your top three. All right, so you've gone through a lot of transitions and changes around things that you deeply, deeply care about. Now, you've reached a point where you want to go back and learn from the lessons that have unfolded to ensure that you can further support and protect this area of your life. You've been working on a lot of revisions that have to do with tying up loose ends and moving through a transitional phase between what was and what will be. Now, this transitional phase could be around money, it could be around shared resources, or something personal that you're trying to release or overcome so you can grow into a new story, a new relationship, or like a new life overall. Now, this week, as Mercury shifts out of retrograde, you're going to feel a sense of forward motion. You're going to feel like, okay, there is still some more actions There may still be something else I need to take here or something else I need to revise, but overall, I really feel like I'm ready to move forward with this story. I've done what I need to do to start taking action here. Now, with last week's new moon, you set intentions around sharing your knowledge locally and with larger audiences, kind of taking that wisdom from one form to another and sharing it in a broad new way. Now, this week, because you have something that you want to communicate and you're trying to communicate it on a really big level, you may need to spend some more time behind the scenes, reflecting, preparing whatever this is that you're trying to share. So I definitely think it's a good idea if you have the space and the time to spend more time to yourself or are working on whatever this project is. I would definitely take that invitation because it's going to support you. It's going to support all this forward motion, not only processing the transitions you're trying to take, but the message that you're trying to share as you step into this new story. All right. I do hope you have a good week, Libra.